My name is Gerald Costiga. I'm coming to you from Temecula, California, and this is our the next installment of our online training series that we've been doing for Enagic distributors. Tonight's topic is going to be holiday business building. Now, this is actually one of my favorite topics because it's actually a little bit more fun than just talking about the different things that are important when it comes to building during the holidays. And there's some things that a lot of people really don't think about when it comes to the holidays and ways that you can really maximize the holidays when you do run your own independent business. So I'm going to be covering some of those things, and hopefully by the time I'm done, you'll be able to turn this upcoming holiday season into your most profitable time of year. I know for us personally, the best month we've ever had in a year has been in December. And so, it definitely can be done. So let's jump right into this. So I want to start by kind of establishing what our goal is with this training. And that the goal is simple. It's to make the very most out of the holiday season. That's what we're trying to accomplish with this particular training, okay? So let's dive into it. So the holidays. Here's a question to pose to yourself. Is the holiday season the best time of the year for an independent business or the worst time of the year for an independent business? Okay? Now, the funny thing is there's arguments on both sides. Some people will say, well, it's the worst time of the year because people are distracted by the holidays and nobody wants to go to a meeting, or don't want to go to a live demo or presentation because, there's holidays that, like Thanksgiving's coming up, so people are going out of town to go see family, and so there's arguments to say, hey, you know what, the end of the year going into the holidays, it's a terrible time to build your business. But there's also the flip side, which is, there's a lot to be said about building your business during the holiday. You have more opportunity to see people that you don't normally see. You have the chance to get together with people that you might not normally have that chance, whether it be a Christmas party or a Thanksgiving family, gathering, whatever it might be. You actually have access to people that you might not normally have that type of direct access to during the rest of the year. Now, the irony of whichever direction you view the holiday season is that whichever one you believe, it's the best or it's the worst, you're right. But you're right for you. Not for everybody else. But you're right for you. Because when it comes down to it, you're going to manifest what it is that you believe. So if you believe it's the worst time of the year, guess what? You're going to be right. Because you're going to stop being as active. You're going to stop prospecting as heavily. Because you've convinced yourself it's the worst time of the year. And so when you convince yourself of something like that, you will make it reality. Okay? Well, if that's true, well, then it means the flip side is also true. So if you honestly believe it's the best time of the year, that the holiday season, there is no better time of the year. Well, guess what? You're going to manifest that reality. So it really is up to you of whether it's the worst or whether it's the best. And when you understand that, then all it is a decision on your part to just say, I'm going to make it the best. It's going to be the best. So realize you have a lot more control over your business destiny, so to speak, than you might give yourself credit for. Because all you have to do is decide you're going to make it the best time of the year, and it will be that for you, okay? So that's the first thing you have to do. You just have to make that conscious decision to say, you know what, it's going to be good. I'm going to work this thing, and I'm going to make it good, okay? That's all you got to basically do. How do you think we turned December into one of our best months in the entire year? Because we believed in it. We also happen to know some of the realities of, trends and market things, and so we have a little bit more insight one of the other reasons that we're doing this training is so that if you don't have that same insight, you can get that insight. Okay? All right. So that's how we start. Best or worst, it's up to you, but you can make it the best. So I'd suggest you get your mindset there. Okay? Speaking of mindsets, it's going to take us to our next, little subtopic here, which is when you go into the holiday season, you kind of have to do something a little bit strange, okay? And that's kind of hit your own reset button. You have to reset your own mentality because the reality is if you don't, you're going to wind up doing what everybody else does. And that's the holiday season becomes the season to spend instead of the season to earn. And if you don't hit that mental reset button, you'll get caught up in that same mentality that, oh, it's time to spend instead of, hey, it's time to earn. Okay? So you want to make sure that you're in the correct state of mind. And the correct state of mind is basically that, hey, you're going to be conducting business. Okay? So you have to be careful not to allow yourself to slip into that, spend mentality. You got to watch out for the holiday season consumerism bug, all right? Because it's real easy. We've got an entire industry that is after all of our wallets. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Taco Tuesday, all these different things, man, they're meant to separate us from our money. Now, Taco Tuesday, though, I'll tell you what, that one I think is a great idea. But I digress. But you have to be careful not to fall into that, a trip to the mall. Man, that one can be murder. Why? Because you find yourself spending kind of frivolously sometimes. You're not, you start buying for people that you really hadn't intended to because you see something. So there's a couple things you need to do for yourself. Make a concrete list of who you're going to be buying for. Create a budget of what you're going to spend and stick to it. That's a really tough one too, is sticking to it. But if you want to make the holiday season a profitable one for you, you need to put these things in place. You need to kind of create the model that's going to allow you to be able to make the most out of this time. Okay? You need to have the mindset of business and opportunity. Okay? Most people during the holiday season, they get into the mindset of overindulgence and spending frivolously. Eat as much as humanly possible at every opportunity possible and spend money that you probably don't really have to spend. Okay? So be very cautious about that going in and make sure you have the right mindset. You're thinking business and opportunity. Okay? You want to focus on making money instead of just spending money. And it probably sounds like I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but this is a very important part of this entire process is your mindset going into the holidays. Okay? You have to remember that successful holiday building, it absolutely starts, middles, and finishes with you. All of it, from the beginning to the end and everything in between. It's about you. So you are the one who's in control of this. So make sure that, when there's a countdown 3, 2, 1, everybody yells Happy New Year. You want to make sure that the preceding months from right now until then, you've done the right thing for you, okay? Which is get that mindset straight, all right? Okay. Now, that being said, there's a flip side to this, which is maximizing the holiday because it is, in the mind of a consumer, time to spend. Okay? So what people have to understand is that holidays come with certain consumer expectations. Okay? And because of those expectations, we need to be able to embrace the consumer trends that come along with those. Okay? So I'm going to just throw a couple things out here, and I need you to ask yourself if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Okay? So Valentine's Day. Would you agree or disagree that during Valentine's Day, there's going to be a huge spike in sales of candy, flowers, perfume, things of that nature? Well, why? Because consumers have been conditioned to spend money on those particular things at that particular time of year. Same thing with the 4th of July. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. You think hamburger and hot dog sales increase in the 4th of July? How about fireworks? Why? Again, expectations that have been kind of put on the shoulders of the consumers that the consumers respond to. How about Thanksgiving? You know? I mean, in all honesty, how often do we buy a whole turkey? In all honesty, how often do you have stuffing? Here's even a better. How often do you have cranberry sauce throughout the rest of the year? Or is it kind of just like it's become something that people are accustomed to, and so that aspect of the food industry relies on this time of year, probably as their biggest time of year at all, right? Well, if that's the case, then realize each of those spending habits during holiday seasons, they are part of a consumer trend. Well, if you're in business, okay, we're in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves, right? Well, the fact that you are in business means you need to pay attention to things like a consumer trend. Why? Because you're a business person. You're not just punching a clock. You have to know the way this entire process works. And if you don't, it's going to make your job much more difficult. If you do, it's going to make your job much more simple. So ask yourself this question. Which would you rather have? A difficult task or a simple task? I think most people would agree the simple task would be favorable. So if you learn about these things, you're going to be in a much better position, okay? Now, those specific examples I gave you illustrated my point. So now what you have to understand is, as we're going into the holiday season towards the end of the year, there is another trend, another expectation. And that expectation is people expect to spend their money. As a matter of fact, some people save all year long just for the holiday season and the spending that comes along with that. They'll save their money all year long. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of businesses, employers, who wait until the end of the year to give bonuses or end of the year perks or things of that nature. Why? Well, because they realize people kind of, even if they don't expect it, they really appreciate it. That if a company's going to do something over and beyond for them, going into the holiday season is a really great time. Matter of fact, there's a movie called Christmas Vacation. I don't know if you've enjoyed the vacation movies starring Chevy Chase, but Christmas Vacation, it basically centers around the idea of Chevy Chase waiting for his big end-of-the-year Christmas bonus because he's going to put in a pool for his family. That's going to be the big Christmas gift for his entire family. It's going to be this thing, right? Well, he doesn't end up getting the Christmas bonus he thought he was going to, and it ruins their Christmas, kind of. It makes for a good plot, though, when it comes to the movie. But that's what ended up happening, okay? And that's a great illustration of what really happens in the real world when it comes to people expecting these certain things or anticipating these certain things. So realize people are getting an influx sometimes of monies at this time of year. And if that's the case, I think what we need to realize is that we really are in sales, you guys. You know, I know a lot of people don't want to admit that fact. A lot of people don't want to be like, well, no, I don't do sales. Yeah, we do, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's like if we didn't have people that were in sales, we'd starve to death. We'd walk every place. We'd be naked all the time. I mean, if you really think about it, sales are a pretty important part of the life that we currently live. So instead of like doing the, no, back, why not embrace it and understand it so that you can maximize it? I mean, to me, that makes a lot of sense, and it makes a lot of sense. And I don't know why, you know, people would rather pretend they're something that they're not, or they're not something that they are. Wait, I think you know what I mean. Hold on. I think my brain was getting dehydrated for a second. It's okay that we're involved in sales. There's nothing wrong with that, especially when we sell the best product in the industry. And we sell a product that we know can be advantageous for people because anybody who's part of this business, anybody who's been drinking this water for any length of time, they know that when you are properly hydrated, a lot of amazing things can happen. So we sell a product that it's beneficial. So don't be afraid that we're in sales, but do understand that the holiday season, it represents a consumer spending trend that we all need to be able to really understand so that we can then use it to our advantage and in our favor. Okay? So when it comes to the actual things that happen during the holidays, here's a few little things that I think will really help you to be able to make the most of some of the things that we end up having the opportunity. And opportunity is a big word, okay? So when the opportunity arises, you need to be able to take advantage of that opportunity, okay? So the first one is talking about the holiday gatherings. And the first one I'm going to talk about is probably the one that most people, would relate to, which is a family gathering, okay? So when you're going to have a family gathering, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight that a lot of people, forget about, okay? And that is family is a blessing and a curse when it comes to an independent business, because they've got your back, but they're also they can be your harshest critic, And the reason for that is very simple, okay? They know you. They know all of your mistakes. They know all of your failures because they've probably been there while they happened, Unfortunately, people tend to remember failures more than accomplishments, unless your accomplishments far, 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 far outweigh the failures. But think about this, especially children. Children can relate with this. You can be good all year long, but when you mess up, it seems like that mess up is a thing that's remembered. The accomplishments kind of fade away. Why? That's a good question. It really is. But it's a fact. So if we can identify that that's a fact, then we can work with it. It's people who try to pretend facts aren't real and they try to work around reality. That's the people who never get anywhere because they're trying to alter reality. You can't do that. Reality is going to be reality no matter what. So instead of trying to, shun it, embrace it. Okay? So when it comes to family gatherings, this is going to be your opportunity to be different than what's expected. Okay? Be yourself, but not the you they expect. Okay? So, and what I mean by that is, maybe you're a younger guy, maybe you haven't had the best luck in business or in just life can be tough sometimes, okay? So when you tell somebody, oh, I'm working on independent business. Oh, wow. You'll get the eye rolls. You'll get the, oh, wow, okay. But you know what? It's to be expected. And the best way to combat that is when you show up, don't be who they expected. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. Present the best version of yourself that you can. Show up well-groomed. There's a lot of things, a lot of times, you get a little scruffy looking, maybe you're doing the stubble and you haven't had the haircut in a while. Maybe you're doing that goofy thing on the top of your head if you're a dude, if that's what you like. But realize everybody else in the world is making fun of you for it, okay? I'm being as real as I can be, okay? Instead of wearing the pants with the ripped knees and some flip-flops and, a casual shirt or whatever, why not present yourself in a way that a professional would present themselves? And I'm not saying that you have to go out and spend $1,000 on an outfit because, the old saying, fake it till you make it. Hey, you know what? I know people that have made it, and that's when they decided to fake it. They have the money to spend on things, but instead, that's when they start buying the fake Louis Vuitton. Why? Well, because now everybody thinks it's real because they know they have money. So they don't have to worry about it. Okay? But you don't have to think like that. You can go, go down to a thrift store. Go down to a secondhand shop, because you're supporting the local economy. That's helpful. And you can, if you take the time, You can find some things. And if you don't have the financial means to be able to go out, buy a Rolex or, buy the really expensive stuff, it's okay. You don't need to. There's other avenues that you can take in order to present yourself professionally without breaking the bank, okay? So, well-groomed, be well-spoken, If you're going to go and you're going to talk to people, don't sound like an idiot, okay? Think about what you're saying, speak with intention, think with intention. You don't have to just be that guy that everybody's like, oh, here comes the life of the party. You can be the life of the party, and you could still be articulate, you can still be intelligent, and you can still be a very strong contributing factor to a conversation. You can still be the life of the party. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? So, also, be informative. If you're going to be if you're going to have your own business, first off, you better know something about it. You better be able to hold an intelligent conversation with somebody who's never heard of it before without making yourself look like a rambling idiot. You need to be able to speak authoritatively. That means you know your stuff. That's all that means, okay? When you speak with authority, it doesn't mean that you know every aspect of that particular topic, but the aspects that you do know, that's what you cover, and that's what you speak about. Because then you can speak about that with authority, okay? You have to realize that success does have a look. It does, okay? And there's nothing wrong with you showing it. So, like I said earlier, dress for success. And if you can't quite afford it, then you figure out a way. That's another thing, too. There's an old saying that excuses are like buttholes. Everybody's got one and they all stink. Okay? Well, I tried to, my mom's on right now, so I didn't want to say asshole. So that's the reason I didn't. I said butthole instead. She's going to totally give me a hard time about this. But basically, don't make excuses for yourself on why, I can't, this is why I can't, or that. You know what? If you really want to make something happen, you figure it out. Okay? You do. You figure it out. You want to be able to look nice, but you don't have a whole bunch of dough that you can, spend on clothes or whatever. Well, then you figure it out. And it might mean that you have to put more effort than money. Okay? That's really what having money is about. Having money at your disposal simply means that the effort you have to put forth to get something that you want is less. The money takes a little bit of the effort off of your shoulders. Okay? So instead of going to maybe 2 or 3, thrift stores or discount shops or whatever to find the right items, when you've got money, you can just go to Nordstrom's or Macy's or something. You walk in there and buy it right off the rack and you're done. Okay? But if you're not in that position, it's okay. It is okay. But there are options. You just need to be creative enough and driven enough to want those options and figure them out. Okay? That's all it is. It's just a matter of how much do you desire it, how much do you actually want it. Okay? So, dress for success, and I wrote this one down here. Don't help negative judgment based on how you present yourself. Okay? So, what I mean by that is you don't have to perpetuate your family members thinking that you're a bum by projecting that you're a bum. There's no reason for that, okay? You don't have to do that. You have it within your ability to get out there and change perception of what other people are thinking or may have be thinking about you, okay? So break the family judgment by being different, okay? And I don't mean by being different like, you're gonna, like become a hippie and wear the shades and the bandana or whatever, and you're gonna dance weird dances in the backyard barefoot. That's not what I mean, okay? I mean different than what they expect from you, okay? And I think there's less people whose families have high expectations for them than there are people whose families have kind of come to the conclusion that they got what they got, okay, when it comes to their relatives and family members. So if you've been one of those people that were, the rest of your family feels like, well, they got what they got, you can change that perception. And you can change the perception for them to think that they got lucky that they got you as part of their family. Okay? It's important that you project confidence, but not arrogance. Okay? Because nobody likes that. Nobody does. Nobody likes some jackwad that is telling everybody, how great they are and patting themselves on the back and, oh, did you see my new wife? No, see, you need to be very subtle and humble. Then it will get noticed. When you shove it down somebody's throat, then it's far less impactful, because now it becomes something that you're trying to make sure that they notice it, because that's what you're trying to do. You don't want somebody to feel that way. It's going to be better for them to notice a change in you on their own accord than for you to force that change down their throat. Okay? Or recognizing that change down their throat. Okay? Also, success, hey, it's all about attitude. It really is. Okay? So be positive. If somebody asked me, hey Jerry, so your time with the Enagic, has it all been rainbows and unicorns? And I'd be like, no, it hasn't. There's been some tough times. There's been some ups and downs, just like any real legitimate business. That's the way a real legitimate business works. Okay? But I've tried to be positive in my approach when it comes to the actual business itself. Why? Well, because this business has more impact on me and my family than anything else I've ever done in my life. And that impact has been a positive impact. So it's hard for me not to be positive about it, because even though there have been times that were a little bit more difficult than others, generally speaking, we've had more positive than negative. And I think one of the reasons is because I tried to remain positive. I do. I try to remain positive and have a good outlook and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, things are good, but you know what? They could be better. And when things were bad, then it was, I'll make things better, because it's my choice. And, I've talked to people before where we're talking about, the things people go through in life. And we all get thrown curveballs, okay? We all get thrown challenges. And I had somebody who I was talking to, and basically they said these words to me. They said, look, man, you want to know what the problem is? I'm going through hell right now. And I said, let me ask you a question. If you were going through hell, is that the time to stop? Or is that the time to try to move your butt as quick as you can and get yourself out of that hell? Now, a lot of people don't think of it because, yeah, you know what? When you're going through troubled times, it can be very hard. It can be very hard. Look, I'm realistic and I understand. I'm real, okay? I'm not going to be one of these people who are going to tell you that, if you work in the Enagic business, your life will be perfect and nothing will ever go wrong and you'll live happily ever after. That's not realistic, okay? Because life is life. Can this particular business really help? Yeah, it can, okay? But it takes you to be that catalyst of change, that catalyst of positivity, all those different things. It takes you to do that. So even when things are tough, it's okay. You just have to keep forging forward and realizing that your attitude is probably one of the biggest things, because, it really does. You need to have and maintain that positive attitude, because we really do attract what we put out, okay? And let me ask you, because we all know that person that just complains about everything. Nothing is ever good. It's always, I know I don't have almost a full cup, but some of it's gone. Well, instead of looking at the some of it's gone, how about the fact that you even have a cup? How about that, okay? Look at the positives. So realize your attitude really does, it influences a lot, both for you directly and then the people that you come in contact with and interact with. So always keep that in mind. And again, I'm going to reiterate this. Family is our toughest critic. So if you surprise them with an unexpected you, don't be surprised if they surprise you right back with the way that they actually respond. Okay? So keep that in mind, all right? Now, from families, I'm going to jump to some of the other holiday gatherings that we sometimes have the opportunity to go to, like parties. You know, whether it's a work-related party or whether it's having friends over at your place or you going to somebody else's place, we're going to talk about parties. So, okay, which basically means attend as many opportunities as possible. Okay? Now, I understand that during the holidays, schedules are crazy. I get it. We have less time to get more done. I understand that, okay? But this is business, folks. This is business. This is not playtime. It's business. So you have to almost look at attending these parties like a business function. You have to force yourself in some cases. Because I'll be honest, after a long day, I really don't want to go mingle and mix and have to be happy and smiley because I might be tired physically and everything. But you know what? If an opportunity avails itself, sometimes that's what you need to do. You need to pull up your bootstraps and just make it happen, okay? So when an opportunity avails itself, take advantage of it, okay? Your schedule for December on your calendar should be packed. You should try to have every single day with something, okay? If you do that, you're basically helping to ensure the possibility of success. Because here's the difference. If you don't go, I can promise you no opportunity will exist. If you go, it could. The possibility then exists. Why? Because you're putting yourself in the position for the possibility to exist. But by not going, you're removing that completely. Okay? Again, a lot of what I'm saying, it circles back to you, the individual, the person, me, the way that I'm doing my things. I'm the one who has to decide these things, just like you're the one who has to decide it for you. But realize that you have the power to make that decision, and if you make the right decision, you can do some great stuff. Okay? This one's very important, and this goes to both parties as well as the family get-togethers. Okay? This one's actually pretty huge. I know that we're in the beverage industry because we are in the water industry, but you go to a party or a gathering, do not drink too much. And I'm not talking about Kangen water. Okay? I'm talking about alcohol. If you want to impress upon people your professionalism, your abilities, the one thing you don't want to do is get sloppy stupid and then act a fool. Because like I said, people tend to remember our screw-ups more than our, achievements. So you have the ability to control whether or not you get stupid drunk or even buzzed to a point where you're becoming a little obnoxious. Okay? Because most of the time, people aren't going to tell you that, but they're sure the heck going to remember it. Okay? So just maybe have one drink and nurse that thing all night long, because you'd rather have your facilities about you anyway, because if the opportunity does avail itself for you to be able to talk to somebody about your business or be able to, talk to somebody about the water, talk to somebody about the Ukon, talk to somebody about the Anespa, wouldn't it be better for you to do that not inebriated? So you actually know what you're talking about? That would probably be a beneficial thing if you think about, that you're doing this on a business scale. You're doing this for business, not just to go, socialize and have fun. And I don't even know why getting drunk is fun because, in the times that I have done this in my life, I feel terrible the next day. I don't even like to drink anymore, mainly because of that. So just be very cautious on that and make sure that you're not overdoing it, okay? This other one, and again, this actually goes to both or any type of gathering that you'll go to. Do not be an annoying person with the water info, okay? You are a very well-rounded individual. You have interest and likes, and your life revolves around more than just the water. Now, I'm not saying don't mention the water, but do not get fixated on it and have every conversation that you have with a person be water, 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 water. Why? Well, because I can tell you, for most people, yeah, look, when we're with other distributors, yeah, you know what? It's all good. Why? Because we're all thinking the same thing. We are all thinking water, 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 and then we can help each other with those conversations. So it usually does end up being a very predominant aspect of conversations when you are in a large gathering of distributors. When you're in a large gathering or just a gathering of any size with normal people, not that we're abnormal, but you know what I mean, people other than an actual distributor, they don't have that kind of tunnel vision, fixation on the water and the health. Yeah, they're living their life. You know, they're doing things that they could probably use some changes. But you have to understand that when you start becoming that water, 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 water person, their interest is, they might sit there and nod at you and everything, but I promise you they've checked out and they're somewhere else. You know, they've glazed over and they're like, okay, I wish this person would shut up. I wish they'd stop talking about this water. Why? Do they not know anything else? Is this the only topic of conversation that they can carry on? This is what people are thinking, okay? And again, like I said, I'm being real with you. I'm telling you how people really think, how people really act, and what's really going on in their minds. If you understand this, then you can then approach it in an appropriate manner so that you don't end up becoming disadvantaged by your own conversation, okay? So, yeah, talk about water, but realize you can talk about other stuff too, okay? Religion, what are the other taboo things that you're not... So, I'm only kidding. Politics, religion, abortion, you can talk about those topics. No, I'm only kidding. You don't want to do those. But you know what I'm saying. You know, it's okay to talk about other things even though you're an Enagic distributor. Your entire, topic of conversation doesn't always have to be just Enagic related, okay? So don't become an annoying water person, all right? Now, here's another thing is, when you're at these gatherings, it's an opportunity for you to make contacts because, especially if you go to a party where you don't really know anybody, that's an amazing opportunity because it gives you access to a market that you have not had previous access to. So it's actually a very good thing. So get out there, make contacts, meet people, talk to people you do not know. That's another thing, if you're at a family function, okay, and you have relatives that maybe came in from out of area, those are the people that you want to go talk to the most. Not the people that you're going to see once the holidays are over, that you see all the time. That's not who this is geared towards or centered around. It's about connecting with people that either you don't get to see very often or that you've never even met before, okay? So that's your opportunity. So make contacts, drop seeds too. There's the old story of Johnny Appleseed who went across the country dropping apple seeds, and then, basically he helped, the United States become an apple producing, country. Well, you can be Johnny Waterseed. So when you're talking to somebody, you can drop a couple of seeds about, the aspects of improved hydration and, extra energy, the things that come along with it that we all know it's absolutely true, just talking about how, look, most people know who Bob Gridelli is, okay? So we've just entered into our 12th year with this. We just had our, November is our anniversary year. So we just had the anniversary on November 3rd of 11 full calendar years. And so we just entered into our 12th year with Enagic, okay? Well, Bob Gridelli was in this before I ever was, and Bobby looks younger today, 12 years later, than he did when he started. You know what? There's nothing wrong with mentioning that to somebody. Why? Well, because that's not usually the way life works. You know, people don't usually look younger 12 years later than they did 12 years earlier. But there's a lot of examples of that happening. Why? Well, because most of us are chronically dehydrated, and we suffer as a result. Premature aging, premature wrinkles, things of that, hair falling out, things of that nature that make you look older. And then when you have proper hydration, sometimes that can be not only reduced, but reversed. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff in my time, so it's hard for me not to believe in this 100%. And so when you're talking to people, it's okay. Drop some of those seeds, okay? And listen for clues. That's one of the things a lot of people forget to do, is listen for clues. So if you're at a party or something and you're talking to somebody and all they can talk about is how disgruntled they are with their job, how much they hate their boss, they can't stand the hour-and-a-half drive each way to and from work every day, they don't like getting up early in the morning to get ready for a job that they can't stand. If somebody's talking like that, you know what they're basically saying? Help. And you are in the position that maybe you can offer a way to help by telling them about the business that you're a part of, a business that was strong enough to sell you on it, okay? So maybe you can tell them about it, all right? So listen. You definitely have to listen. And then drop some seeds, okay? Here's one of the things you have to understand. When you're doing this, you're not trying to make a sale. That's not what your intention is in that moment, okay? You're not expecting that, after talking to somebody for 10 or 15 minutes, that they're going to just sit down at the table, ask, do you have an application on you that I can fill out so I can place my order and buy this machine right now? That's most likely not going to happen. If it does, fantastic, which means make sure you have paperwork. Keep it in the car, though. Don't have it on you. Okay? But realize that you're not just trying to make a sale. You're trying to build a business. Okay? And there is a difference. You have to remember that right now, during the holidays, you're going to be putting in time now for results that are going to come in the next couple of months. Okay? And if you're building, that's the way it's supposed to happen. And if you're building, what those results will be much bigger than just an individual sale or two. Okay? So you need to understand really what you're trying to accomplish when you're doing this stuff. Obviously, a product sale is what you want to have accomplished, but you have to have realistic expectations of exactly when that's going to be happening and how it's going to be happening. Realize that the stronger you make the connection prior to a person buying a machine, the greater the possibility of them not only using it, but wanting to share that information with others. If you're going for a slam dunk sale, then realize you're just going to have a lot of slam dunk sales. But your development of your organization is probably not going to be very rapid or very big. Why? Because you're simply not putting the time necessary into the person to get them connected to it deeply enough to where they want to tell other people. And it's not about them wanting to tell other people to make money, okay? That is a very beneficial byproduct of this business, okay? If people believe in this strongly enough, they will tell other people simply out of social obligation, because they will feel so inclined to want to tell other people what they have discovered and how it has helped them, that by doing so, it will result in additional sales. So realize when you're talking to a person, if you want that person to be able to create a return for you, well, you have to realize then that person needs to be an investment for you. And you need to put something into an investment if that investment will become a return. Realize that's part of your responsibility, is to put the effort forth so it is an investment in that person, okay? All right. Here's one of the other things that's pretty big. Be prepared for what might come. it's important that if you're going to go to these things and you're thinking, oh, it would be great if all this stuff happened. Okay, well, what if it does happen? What if you do find people that are interested? What if there's people that are there that would like more information? It's important that you're prepared, okay? So be prepared. Number one, business cards, and lots of them. During the holidays, you should be doling out business cards like a blackjack dealer in Vegas, okay? That's what you should be doing. You should be giving them to anybody that will take one, okay? Why? Because that is a seed. That is definitely a seed. Now, you also want to try to get cards or contact information, because one thing I have learned, you give somebody your card, that person has your card, and they may or may not contact you back, okay? But if you have somebody else's contact information, then you 100% have the potential to contact that person. Then it becomes up to you, okay? So if all you're going to do is hand out business cards, realize you're probably going to get about a 1 in 20 response rate. But if you hand out business cards and then there is an obligatory reciprocation of information, realize now you have in your hand 100% possibility and potential to contact that person and follow up. Okay? And the follow-up, the fortune is in the follow-up. All right? So one of the main reasons that you want to give business cards out is to let people know that you have a business. You know, especially family. That's another thing too. You know, if you're a younger guy or gal and you're doing this business and you're starting to see some traction, you're starting to see some success, you know, when you go to a family gathering and all of a sudden you whip out a business card and you hand it to your family members, for a lot of them, they are not going to expect that. You will be breaking through their level of expectation, because they're not expecting you to fork out a business card. Why? Because that's something a professional does. That's something that, you know, a business person does. And by giving them that business card, you are projecting just that, you know, that you are a business person. And it is projecting that professionalism by having a good-looking business card. Now, I've harped on this before. Spend a little bit on business cards. You know, Kangen Toolbox, Tony Mack, KangenToolbox.com. He's got some great designs for business cards. So if you need really good business cards, that's a location that you can go to. I really recommend that people don't go like the freebie Vistaprint thing, where, you know, the Vistaprint puts their logo on the back of your card with contact information. You know, basically that's just showing that you're willing to allow another company to advertise on your business card so you could save like 50 cents. So spend a little bit and make sure that you have a really good high quality card and plenty of them, okay? So that, I think, is a very important part. Next, personal drinking bottle. It's to spark interest. You want to have a bottle. You know, that's one of the reasons that these were created, is so that people would go, hey, what the heck is that? You know, and that'll start a conversation. But if you're carrying this around, if you're at a party and you're carrying this thing around, or even just, you know, you sit down and just put it on the table next to you, I promise you, if somebody hasn't seen this before, they're going to ask you about it. Okay? That's the reason they were designed. These are called visual impact bottles. Why? Because simply holding it creates a visual impact on other people, and they'll want to know what this is. So carry around your bottle, and it doesn't have to be one of these, man. It could be one of these. You know, and then when somebody says, hey, what, you got like some kind of special water? Funny you should ask. And then you can tell them about it, okay? So make sure you have that. You want to carry a bottle around just if for no other reason, so somebody can say, hey, what is that? Okay? Promotional materials. This one I think is really important. You want to have them ready, but don't have them on you, okay? Don't be talking to somebody. You mentioned the thing about business, and all of a sudden you're pulling out brochures from your pocket like a magician pulling scarves out. You don't want to do that. Why? Because it makes it look premeditated. It makes it look contrived. It makes it look like you have only been talking to the person you're talking to so you could create the opportunity to give them a brochure. Okay? And then people are going to feel like they're being sold, and nobody likes that. I know it's funny. We're in sales, but nobody likes feeling like they're being sold. They just don't. So have materials available, but like keep them in the car, okay? Some brochures, maybe some of the marketing magazines, whatever it happens to be. Keep them in the car so they're accessible, but don't keep them on you so that you look, obnoxious in the way that you're, giving them out, okay? Again, it really does make conversations appear contrived. If you're sitting there talking for a few minutes and then you kind of do well, here, let me give you some information. Haha, next, and then you make your way over to somebody else. Okay, so it's better to have them available, and it's just better to have them available, but not like on your person. Okay. So obviously, wanting to give people additional information should be your priority. But your priority should appear to be an afterthought to other people, okay? That's why, yeah, you want to prepare yourself. Look, man, I'm not trying to kid anybody here. We're in sales, right? If you're going to be effective in sales, you need to be prepared with whatever's going to help you be more effective. So having some stuff in the car, I carry them in my trunk. I could go out there right now, right this second, okay? I've got magazines, I've got brochures, I've got books, I've got all sorts of stuff, okay? Just in case. Now, I can answer any question somebody asks me. I can answer any question. But it's going to be more helpful for me to have something that I could give them in a pinch, okay? So I make sure that they're with me at all times. So just do the same. The DVDs, yeah, look, I get it that DVDs are becoming less and less like... I don't want to say popular, but there's so many other ways that people are now being able to watch video, whether it be streaming services or, the little jump drives or whatever else. But don't discount the effectiveness of a DVD. There's regular information. There's some demo DVDs. There's things that talk about the business. Eli and Jelena made a really great video that they made DVDs out of them. If you have a couple of DVDs in with your materials, it's going to be helpful for you because you got to remember the majority of the people that are the target market for this product, it is like 30 and above. It's not, 18 to 21 year olds. There's plenty of them, but that's not the target market, okay? So if you're looking at the target market, it is older folks. So why am I mentioning that? Well, because a lot of us older folks are more set in our ways. We still have a DVD player connected to our TV, okay? We still play DVDs in our laptops. We have to get those stupid codec things in order to play the video. So we are used to certain things. Again, when you know what a market's expectations are, you are able to provide that market with what they expect. Okay, so if that's one of the things that they have grown to expect, hey, provide it to them or at least have it available, okay? Another one, bags of water. Be ready just in case, okay? Be proactive by preparing a few bags of water to have in your trunk, specifically that you would earmark those to give to people at whatever function that you're going to. So obviously somebody who's never tried the water before, that's your goal. Now, I mentioned Bob Gradelli earlier, and I actually put Bob Gradelli's story on my notes here. And what Bob Gradelli's story is, when Bobby first started in Enagic, one of the things that he would do is fill up a bunch of containers of water, put them in his car, and it wasn't his goal, it was his mission. He would not go home until he had given out all the water he prepared. He just wouldn't go home. So it kind of forced his hand to talk to more people, offer water to more people, and it helped. Bobby's got one of the biggest organizations now in Enagic. He's one of the most successful distributors in the world. Okay? And that was one of the things that helped him, especially when he first started. So get some of those water bags, have them in your trunk, and don't fill up too many, obviously, and if you have the opportunity to give somebody some water, instead of giving them like what you would do a normal sample and like a 3 to 4 day amount or batch for them, give them 1 or 2 bags, and that will allow you to be able to follow up with them faster. Okay? And obviously you need to get contact information, all that kind of good stuff. But if you have those water bags available and ready, it's going to be a lot easier for you, okay? Okay. The worst thing that could happen to you is you find somebody that has interest and you are not prepared, okay? You have to remember that opportunity is often a here and now situation, and I mean here and now. So you need to be ready wherever here happens to be, and you need to be ready whenever now happens to be, okay? So what's the point? Be ready. That's what you need to do, okay? During the holidays, you need to think outside the box as well, okay? There's custom water-related Christmas cards. I know Enagic had some in the past. I don't know if they still have those available, but there's places where you can actually customize a Christmas card, and you could I found Christmas trees that look like water, it's water that is in the form of a Christmas tree. So think outside the box a little bit. Personal drinking bottles as gifts, okay? A box of Ukon as a gift for somebody to try it out. Water-related gifts to keep interest. You got to remember, if you're going to be giving somebody a gift anyway, if you're going to spend money to give somebody something that you hope that they like, there's no reason that you cannot also kind of hedge your bets and give them something that is conducive to what you're doing. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. It's like, if I could spend $10 on this and give you one of these, and by giving this to you, you end up having 10 people in the next week or so ask you what that is, and that shows you, wow, maybe there's more to this than I thought. And then that person ends up buying a machine. Do you think that $10 investment was worth it? And do you think they're glad that you gave them that bottle? That's how you have to think. You have to think smart, okay? So, summary. The holidays are an excellent time to build your business, right? Yes, it is, okay? Get that mindset. You're going to see people that you don't normally see any other time of the year, okay? You're going to meet new people that you would not have had the opportunity to meet any other time during the year. Remember that the consumer mindset for expected spending is never higher than during the holidays. So take advantage of that consumer mindset. Also, remember that unlike most gifts we give or receive, our products keep on giving for many, many years. And what they give is one of the best gifts a person can receive. And no matter what, though, guys, smile, laugh, enjoy the holidays, and be of good cheer. Okay? Become a product of the product in every sense of the word, okay? Quick announcements. For the next 24 hours, and I believe Nathaniel actually posted this on the comments, it's not in the next 24 hours. Actually, it's going to be the next couple of days. I think it's going to expire end of day Wednesday or Thursday. It's the next couple of days. But the products on the Going 6A website are on sale, 15% off your total order. Product order. The code is THANKS, THANKS. Let's take a look at this real quick. There's your code for savings. All right. This includes the factory seconds. I talked about these last time. If you guys can see that little wonky line there, they got a bad batch of these things, and the bottle itself is fine, just it has that little kind of... So if you don't mind this, you can save some money. That's what you can do, okay? They are, the factory seconds that are available, though, extremely limited quantities, okay? They're first come, first served. When they're gone, okay? I want to remind everybody that Right Away 6, the Going 6A edition, is now available in print and digitally. Again, just go to the going6a.com website, click on the shop link, and at the bottom of the page there's information. If you're not on our mailing list, get on our mailing list, because that way you will get notifications of trainings. You'll get notifications of private stuff that the rest of the world doesn't even know about. Okay, but I was saying about the subscribing to our email list. Just go to the going6a.com website and click on subscribe. This is an opt-in email, so you just follow the directions of what it says to do, and you'll be done. Okay. Next, the last live training of 2018. The last online training that we're going to be doing for 2018 is going to be on Monday, December 10th at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Put it on your calendar. We're going to be discussing goal setting for 2019. Now, this is going to be a very interesting training because I will be joined by my son, Nathaniel, for this training. Nathaniel's actually done quite a bit when it comes to the he's very knowledgeable when it comes to the goal setting and SMART goals and things of that nature. So we're going to be discussing goal setting, but from different generational viewpoints and what to expect and what we need to do to achieve them. Okay, this is going to be a great training. It's going to be very, very different than what there's going to be two of us instead of just me. So how great is that? Last thing. Special reminder for those in the Riverside, Orange, and San Diego counties, okay? The next live True Health seminar at our new location in Murrieta with a brand new presentation slides and enhanced properties demo will be tomorrow, Tuesday, November the 20th. We'll be introducing some new tests in the demo, and we're using a brand new PowerPoint that we're trying to get some opinions on from distributors to see if they think we should change anything on it, because I think we have the new standard. So we're looking forward to getting additional feedback. We're going to be taking promotional pictures and video during the seminar. So if you and your team want to be featured as attendees and participants, you need to be sure to join me, my son Nathaniel, my wife Susan, Bill and Emily Mabry, and Bob Brown, who we're all working together to help build up the Inland Empire. And it's going to be a much different approach. And it's going to be different. And different can be good. So thanks for joining us tonight. We hope this information helps you and your team members. And we look forward to seeing you on the next live training, which again will be the last one of 2018. Thanks a lot, you guys. Look forward to seeing you soon.